Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How we doing? I'm doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. We have another requested video today. But first, we're going to watch a video from HistorySquad, Kevin Hicks over there, who's blessed us with his permission to watch and learn from his amazing work. I love his videos, love his channel. I know a lot of you do as well because I get a lot of requests from it. Today's video is the English longbow. I don't know too much about that. I think I've seen maybe one or two videos in the past, excuse the heater, that has, talked about it. It might have even been one of Kevin's videos. In fact, I think one of them was. It looks very difficult to operate. And apparently he's pretty good at it. So we're going to look. The video is titled English Longbow and its Deadly Arrows. I can't say that I'm fascinated by okay, let me rephrase that. I am fascinated by the technology. I'll say that. It's the technology used in that time. And to use it with such force and carnage. It's really from that point in history to what we're using now in warfare. It's mind-boggling the transformation that has taken place over the centuries. But it's interesting that someone came up with something like this. You know what I mean? I guess I it's not like I'm expecting people just to still be throwing rocks, I guess. But I don't know. I find it somewhat fascinating, just the actual technology that was used. That's just me. I invite you to come on this couch and watch with me and learn more about the longbow. I know it's very difficult. So, and plus, Kevin, he's an absolute joy to watch. And I've learned a lot from his stuff. So, hopefully we learned something today. What's great about it, this is a video on the longbow, but we're going to learn some other history as well. So, that's what I'm looking forward to. And plus, of course, all the comments and emails that I get that add to the video. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Love it. Just to give you a quick update of things. Fires all around. We've had some real bad winds. We had a fire that started in what's called Castaic. It's the Hughes fire. It's where the 126 freeway, which is a freeway that begins here in Ventura and goes east to the Interstate 5, which is the main highway that takes you up the state of California all the way down to San Diego. That's where the fire started, like right at that junction. And the Santa Clara River, it's more like a trickle of water, but when it rains it fills up, is also at that junction too that comes straight to Ventura, and it's like a canyon, if you will, from that point all the way to Ventura. And that's the route the highway 126 goes. Well, that's where all the winds come from. They come off of the desert, which is just basically over the hill from where the Hughes fire started. It blows down those mountains and blows right down that canyon. That's why Ventura gets really bad winds. It just funnels it right into Ventura County. And so when a fire starts there and it has real bad winds blowing it toward me, I get a little cautious, I don't want to say nervous, but I'll definitely, pay attention. Because when the Thomas Fire of 2017 hit Ventura, it started 2 towns over. But it literally got to Ventura within an hour or so. It came so fast, and it just burned through the brush, and the wind was blowing embers so far, in front. The firefighters can't do anything, and it just keeps igniting, keeps igniting. It's nuts. So I did have some concern there, but the blessing is it started right at a lake, and there's a big, big lake that's basically in between it and the 5 freeway, and then it would have to jump the water, and it would have to jump the freeway to get to my side of the 5, and then it would have free reign. But they've done a really good job attacking it, and it's kind of crept down here towards the bottom of the lake and is working its way around it, but I'm not too concerned. I don't know if we're supposed to have winds today. We had real bad winds yesterday. There was a fire started near my place of work by the in Camarillo that wasn't too close to where I actually physically work, but it was right there, about a mile or two away. But I think they've gotten that one calmed down. So they're getting them really quickly, so that's good. But the thing is, what's crazy is they're just popping up everywhere. It's so bizarre. I don't recall when we have Santa Anas as much as we have had. There's like a fire season, which is basically lasting all year now. But you get these winds. I don't recall as many fires all happening at once. They're still dealing with the ones down in LA, but those have all pretty much been contained, while not fully out, but they've pretty much kept them from going anywhere. So yeah, we're safe. We're good. No worries. Thank you to everyone who's asked about it. But yeah, nothing immediate, but it's been crazy, just the amount. So anything can happen, really. I'm not sure about the winds and how much longer they're supposed to last. I don't think the wind's blowing right now because I don't hear it. If you scroll down, there's going to be links to History Squad and Kevin's channel. Please go and click on those. And one takes you to his channel, and the other one takes you to this video so you can watch it without me yapping. There should have been a timestamp at the front so you know when the video starts for those who just want to skip. But hopefully you'll hear me say this Sunday we have a live stream for the month of January. It is at 8 o'clock. I think initially it was 8:30, but I made a mistake. It's 8. So 8 o'clock my time. I believe that's 4 o'clock your time. If you can make it, that would be amazing. If you can't, that's okay. We'll catch you on the next one. There'll be one next month. And we're free to talk about whatever you want. Of course, we had an election, and we had the inauguration, and so we are doing what we're doing. So free to talk about that as well. Really I'm open to whatever you guys would like to talk about. So come on by, say hello. Should be fun. So anyway, let's get into today's video. Big fake couch, yes. This is English longbow and deadly arrows. Let me jump out. I just heard a sound like a sonic boom. I wonder if that's Elon launching another rocket. About 3 hours north of here is Vandenberg Air Force Base, and that's where they launched those rockets from. And I'm gonna dart out. That's where they launched those rockets from, and you hear the sonic boom, and it's always around this time early in the morning. Anyway, let's get into today's video. Jeez.
Hi, my name's Kevin Hicks. Welcome to the History Squad. Now, today's video is shooting on location where I like to shoot, down in the sandpit here. We're going to have a look at the longbow, the anatomy of the longbow and the arrows, if you like. What made it so famous in the 100 Years' War, for instance, and also the Wars of the Roses? What made the longbow, the English and the Welsh longbow, so great? Well, first of all, it wasn't just the weapon. Yeah, the weapon is a tool in the hands of a professional. But if you have a look at these, I've been shooting this for a little while, and I've found that the string has come down. So the old fist mel, how's it going, mate? And I'm English, not Australian. So, when I started shooting this morning, my bowstring rested perfectly on there. But I've shot a few dozen arrows now, and the string has come down. So what I've got to do is I've got to restring it. And it can be a nuisance, but it has to be done. So all I do is I'm not putting on a new string. Is I put my foot down there, pull the bow. There you go. I will now take the string off the bottom, and I'll wind him up a little bit. That's all I'm doing, is just winding the string against itself. Just a few turns, that should be okay.
Oh, that
Clip him
seems
back
simple.
on. Make sure he's in the right groove there. Now, normally, I've seen in the films and I've seen powerful men, you pull it and you push it and you can actually string it. I don't like doing that. I've had a bow snap on me when I broke the end off a bow, and it broke my heart. I used a stringer.
I thought it was going to be smacked
And
him
I
in the face or
recommend
something,
anybody,
which is something I would probably
when you
do.
restring your bow, use a stringer. It's dead easy.
Stringer.
Put it on the grooves at the end there. Make sure you got the extra grooves in the nock. Step on the string. Pull the bow up. There is no stress on the bow. Oh, will you look at that?
Oh,
Yeah, just above the
seemed
fist
easy.
mount, but that'll come down. These bows are quite incredible. Now, this one's been repaired and repaired. This is, I think, my second bow from Don Adams. I understand not very well at the moment, so I wish him well. This bow now, best part of 30 years, I've been shooting it, but I've got another one of Don Adams's, and it's a monster. So I'm 5'10", so let's put that bow at my toe, and you'll see
moly.
it's a couple of foot taller than me. It's over 7 foot long, and that makes it a bit of an interesting bow because you can get a longer draw. Now, this was
7 feet tall. How on earth? Hopefully he shoots it so I can see it. I'd like to know if any of you have actually shot one of these, or is that what you call it? Shoot? You know what I mean? I'd like to know if any of you have actually used one of these, and especially if you've used this monster. My God, I'm short. Kevin's taller than me. I'm only like 5'6". I may even be shorter than that. I'm shrinking by the day, which is very disconcerting. But I'd like to, I mean, how would, obviously I wouldn't be the guy doing it. They would say no. I'd probably be in the quiver being shot from the bow. Oh my gosh. I'd like to know if any of you have tried it or do this as a hobby.
When I first had it, 96-pound draw weight. It was just too big, too heavy to shoot the way I used to shoot at Warwick Castle. And in fact, you know, as an old man now, and I need to be able to enjoy my shooting. So the reason I brought him out is he is such a lovely piece of yew. The wood for these, the staves for these war bows, yew is the best. Look at that. It is lovely. Lots
I don't know
of
if I've heard
blemishes,
of that
lots
wood.
of marks. Just a very simple mark to where the arrow actually rests, nothing else. So you've got the heartwood and the sapwood. As you bring him back, that hardwood, he doesn't like it. And the sapwood being stretched over, they want to go back to being a stick. And look after all those years. This one I think's about 20, 25 years old. Look how straight it's become. You use ash, for instance. No problems with ash bows. I've made a few for friends recently. An ash bow, great fun. Nice, easy to shoot. The problem with them, if you shoot them too often, is they what call string follow. They stay in the shape of the bow. With these U bows, they go back to being a stick.
You.
And that's just it. As you
How do I
release
not
that
know that?
arrow, the bow flexes forward. Really.
I mean, I'll go back, but is this wood native to you? You. Is that, am I saying that right? You. Huh. I don't know.
And that's just it. As you release that arrow, the bow flexes forward, really has the power. So on each end of this bow, you will see we have the horn nocks. Now, the horn has been bored out, so it's a socket that fits over the bow, and there you have an extra groove for the stringer. Same at the other end. This is nice the way this one's shaped. I think this is one I made actually, because it tells you that's the top of the bow. So let's string him. Now, I haven't strung this bow for a few weeks, so let's have a look at the condition of the string. I've put a stringer on so I don't put any pressure on the bow. Tuck him under my toe, bring him up,
Dang.
loop him in. It sits nicely on the fist mill, but I can use a different draw on this bow. Because it's so big, I've reduced the power. We tested this yesterday, 24 inches, it was into 70 pound. So it's still a meaty old bow. I might fetch it down a little bit more. But to shoot him, I can actually do a low draw on this. So let's have a go. I can draw under the chin, under here. Now I've surrounded the target. Let's see if I can pin the beggar.
Got him.
Well, I've wiped the smile off his face. Got the man behind him. Looks like I'm going to have to finish him off with the dagger. So that's the bow. Now, the bowstring, these are modern bowstrings that I use nowadays.
He makes it look so
made
easy.
Linen strings in the past, they stretch. I don't know what we're doing wrong. There's none left from the old days to show us what we're doing wrong. So these are modern. These B50 twine is what I use. Bit of serving on there. Now, I don't have anything else on the bows except a single mark. And I often get asked, well, how do you know? Well, when you practice so much as I do, you used to simply just put the arrow on at the right angle and let him go. He's gone. So it's quite simple. I know you can get nocks and different things put on, but for a straightforward bowman, medieval style, some people think I was in the medieval times. I know I'm old, but not that old. It's just a straightforward thing. So the string, you've got serving here. This is to protect the bowstring from your fingers. Because if you look, you've got to protect your fingers from the bowstring. If you don't, they'll rip apart. Just look at the state of this glove. I think this is the third layer I've put on it, and you can see how those sharp fletchings literally rip through the glove. My braces underneath there. So it's all very simple. It was described to me one day as 2 sticks and a bit of string. Well, I suppose it is. There's 1 stick. Here's another one. But you have a look at this. So this is a poplar arrow shaft.
Poplar, okay.
It's got a heavy bodkin on the end. But I used to use ash arrows, very expensive, quite heavy. I like these poplar arrows. They're nice. And they bend just enough. Well, you've seen them. And all the arrows I'm shooting at the moment, I've got these heavy bodkin tips. So you have a steel tip. You have a nice, these are parallel shafts. In other words, they are even all the way down. Some arrows are barreled at the end, thicker here, or some taper up. These straightforward arrow shafts. But look at the fletchings. These are off the goose, full length. They are glued on and they are tied on. And if you look through the end, there's just a thin sliver of bone through the nock. And that stops the bowstring simply slicing the arrow in half. Now, the guy who makes the bow, he's the bowyer. The guy who makes the arrow is an arrowsmith or a fletcher. The guy who shoots the bow, he's an absolute killer.
I gotta go back.
Who makes the arrow, the bow, he's the bowyer.
Bowyer.
Slicing the arrow in
I want to
half.
hear what the names
Now, the
were.
guy who makes the bow, he's the bowyer.
Bowyer.
The guy who makes the arrow is an arrowsmith or a fletcher. The guy who shoots the bow, he's an absolute killer. Got him.
I saw it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video.
did.
If you did, like, share and subscribe. And if you'd like to support the channel further, why not have a look at joining our Patreon community? The link is in the description. But before I go any further, quick shout out to some of my Patreon members. Brian Hernandez. Hey, Brian, thanks a million for the arrows that you sent. They work. They know where the target is.
Oh,
Nothing
cool.
to do with me. They just go in the right direction. And here we have Shiloh Harrington and Emily Rowerdink. Hey, guys, thanks a million. Bye for now.
That was fun. Like I said, I don't know anything about this skill, because that's what it is. These guys who do this are definitely skilled. Interesting, though, I'm not really familiar with the actual wood that he was referencing there. I'm curious to know if that's something more native to the UK or Europe, or somewhere. But it just seems such a hard skill to master. It's almost like what they say about golf. It takes a lifetime to master, kind of a thing. And yeah, back in the day, did they have the gloves? I would imagine so at some point. You know, if you're going to pull that string back. But it's just interesting. Just the technology used. It's such deadly force. I wonder if it was as accurate as you see in the movies. Obviously, probably not. I'm sure it was just a lot of arrows flying around most of the time. But there's so many people, someone's going to get hit. And I don't know. Thank you for the request. It's just fascinating in a way of just the weapon itself and how. I wonder who came up with it. It's just like, oh yeah, if I had a projectile sharp and I had something to pull, yeah, who goes through this process of how can I cause more damage on somebody? My mind doesn't really operate that way, to think like that. So it's kind of interesting to see this sort of thing. Hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. If you can, stop by on Sunday, 4 o'clock your time, I believe, but double check just to make sure. And come and say hello. You don't have to stay for the whole thing. Just pop in, say hi. And thank you for everybody who's been reaching out. Appreciate all of you. And yeah, have a great day. And I'll do some more videos tomorrow. Maybe we get a couple of them in. Take care. All right, bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. And he's from